And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys.
People think, oh, well, cleaning your room, that's just a cliche. It's like, yeah, really, eh? Just go ahead and try it.
If people had any idea how powerful sleep is for healing from anything, and the fact that it's free.
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock.
Podcast. And we're live. How are you, Annemarie? What's the crack?
Doing good, not a bother. I am great.
Excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Very nervous. I watched Kira yesterday and she was so amazing. I'm like, oh my God, how do you follow Kira? Like, she was brilliant.
Yeah, she's got a fantastic story, hasn't she?
Yeah, just amazing. So I'm just like, hard to follow. She's really hard to follow.
We all have a fantastic story to tell. You know, it's just about digging deep enough and kind of pulling the story out of the hat.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. So Annemarie, just a little intro on again why I picked you to come onto the podcast. You've been one of our OGs. You've been with us back in the early days. Have you been with us since the boxing club, or did you join the club?
No, the boxing club. So yeah, I am one of the originals with Irene, and Megan. Megan
that is incredible.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you were actually in Fighting Fit before I was in Fighting Fit.
I was. I remember you came in, Stephen. We only had Stephen, and then you came in, and you were literally just a wee chicken, a wee tiny little chick after hatching out of college, and you were telling us what to do. I was like, who is this young fella?
You just probably knew the exercise better than I did.
Oh, it was so funny. And like, I remember Chloe sitting outside waiting for you. And you were just so cute, these two little teenagers. I was like, oh, seriously?
I know.
I am paying for this.
I was so nervous back in the day because, like I said, so you listen to me. All I did before that was train myself. I'd never trained anybody. And I had all these people, and then what was worse, it's not like this was your first time. You know, he's already been trained by Stephen, all this kind of stuff. I was, well, I'm just doing what Stephen told me to do.
Yeah, you said that a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I said to Annemarie, again, one of the reasons I got you on is because you're a fantastic FF ambassador. So again, it's not only that you've been with us a long time, you've been doing all the things that you've ever been asked to do. You know, you've always been rising to the occasion, you know, putting new challenges in front of yourself and then smash those challenges, and constantly, you know, bringing new members into the gym, because obviously people would say to you, hey, Annemarie, you know, what are you doing? Why do you look so great? Why do you have so much energy? Why do you always go around with a smile on your face? And for whatever reason, you'd send them our way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For AC, so again, you went from the couch to running marathons, and then quite recently there you ran, swam, and cycled a triathlon.
Yeah, well, it was a kayak, but the kayak part got cancelled. But like, because of the weather, the kayak part got cancelled. But that's okay. It was a quest. So,
okay, cool. Yeah. How did you go on? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely loved it, and couldn't believe how easy it was, which is mad. Like, it was 45 kilometers or something. I can't even remember the distance. It was crazy distance, but it was so easy. It like, and how mad does that sound? It was just so easy. Got off the bikes and went, oh shit, that was too easy. We could have done that again.
What was the breakdown of it?
So it was an 18k cycle, and then the run, and then a 14k cycle, and then we were supposed to do the kayak, which that part was like literally across the lake. It got cancelled, and then we were back running again. So, you know, it was spread out, but the cycle was mostly like uphill, and like the weather was just horrendous, like the wind and the rain and everything. But it was just great day.
And have you always been into running?
Sorry?
Have you always been into running?
No.
No. When did you start running?
No. So this is like when I was 39, 40. So just for people who don't know, I am one of the oldest members of the group. Older members. I'm 48. I was 48 this year. So when I was 39, hitting 40, my friend Benny said to me, because I was always kind of into you know, what I ate and how I looked, and just to keep fit, but not running or anything like that. I used to go to other gyms like Peak Physique, those kind of ones, and Felda, that kind of stuff. And yoga, that kind of stuff. I always did a wee bit of everything. But then I stopped because I suppose when you have kids, Brandon, you know yourself, your focus goes on to the kids. You know yourself, but your focus goes on to the kids. And our Connor was very active as a small child. We had him at kickboxing, boxing, running, everything, and we were always constantly going. So I kind of started to suffer then. And I let myself go basically because all my focus was going on him. And my friend Benny, who I worked with, said to me, Annemarie, I think you're letting yourself go. It's straight out. Just said it to me. I was like, okay, thanks.
That's a true friend.
Like, oh no, true friend, because he knew I was into fitness and keeping myself right. So he said it to me straight out. It was very funny. But then he said, look, I'm starting to run around the Furry Glen, you know, behind Doriel Park.
Yeah.
And he said, do you want to go running? I was like, I couldn't even walk the length of myself at this stage, honestly. And I said, all right, okay, let's give it a go. So we literally, twice a week, we used to go out for 20 minutes, and we would run for 3 minutes, walk for a minute. And we would stay there for the 20 minutes and do that.
Really?
And then we increased it, and and then we signed up for Patsy Kelly. And the first time I did Patsy Kelly, I did it in 32 minutes. Like, it was 32 minutes.
That's a great time.
Well, it was then.
If you were just starting running, I mean, that is a solid time.
So then, that was the first Patsy Kelly. The second Patsy Kelly, I did it in 29 minutes. The third Patsy Kelly got down to 25, and then the last one was 23. So every time I did Patsy Kelly, I increased my speed. But that was my introduction to running.
Brilliant, cool. Yeah, that's a great start. And was Benny, did he run first? Was he already running, or did you just start together?
He was tipping away, like he wouldn't have done any races or anything like that. He was tipping away running. He was a footballer, and he always kind of ran, and he would be into the gym and all that sort of stuff. Now he's in his 60s now, Benny. Like neither of us were spring chickens running around the Furry Glen, you know, but we had good crack.
I can't believe you said you're 40. Yeah, Annemarie, I genuinely thought you were like 40. Like, you look fantastic.
Thank you, Brandon.
But in saying that, Jenny, it's like, you know, 48 really is the new 38. You know, like.
Oh, it is completely. Like when I was 20, 30, looking at people at my age, you just like.
Oh yeah.
Old. Now I'm not old. I'm far.
You're not old at all. Exactly.
No.
Yeah. And then what do you kind of attribute that to? You know.
Mindset. Definitely mindset. It has to be. Like if you think that life's over, life is over, you have to just say, no, I want to do this, and just go and do it. You know? And like, you know, when you're younger, you think you can do anything, and you can do anything. But then you get your kids, you get your home, you know, and it's right, I have everything I need now and I'm okay. But for me, there was always something missing. It was like, no, I need more. I need to do more. So that's where the fitness comes in and the mindset comes in. And I literally know I can do anything I want to do.
Yeah, you're a wee go-getter.
Yeah. But, you know, it's just who I am.
So talk to me, how did you go from the Patsy Kelly then to the marathon? Or was it a half marathon first? How'd you work it?
Okay. So, you know that I had a serious tragedy in my family. In 2015, I lost my brother.
Yeah. So sorry.
And no, that's okay. So I lost my brother to suicide December 2015, and I remember going back to the gym. That was in December. Went back to the gym like literally weeks later. There was no time at all. Into the gym, and like obviously was really upset. I remember hitting the boxing bags and tears like blowing down, and Stephen would just totally ignore me and let me cry, and everybody else was the same. It was just like, leave her alone, she's getting it out of her system, and which was brilliant. And then Stephen set a goal. He said, look at what you want to do, you know, because he knew I needed something. I needed a focus. And I was like, right, I always wanted to run a marathon. I know I could do this. And he was like, right, let's do it. So that was basically it. That started the ball rolling. So 2016, I stuck myself into training for the Dublin Marathon. and the Dublin Marathon was going to be, we had this class 2016 medal because of 1916. It was the 100-year medal.
Yes,
And
cool.
I was like, class, I want one of
Yeah.
those. That's going to be brilliant, blah, blah, blah. So I trained and met up with Paul. I don't know, I think it was the Dundalk 10K, or I don't know. We were out running, all of us fighting fit. There was a group of us out running, and said to Paul, do you want to, I was training at that stage for the marathon, do you want to go for a run like some Saturday, Sunday, whatever? And he was like, yeah. So the two of us are running. And then I was like, do you know you could do a half marathon? And he was like, no, I couldn't. I was like, of course you could. Of course you could. You're like, not a bother, you know? So we signed up for Monaghan half marathon. So literally in September, I ran the Dublin half marathon. A week later, we ran Monaghan half marathon, and I hurt my knee. Yeah, you know, like you hurt your knee a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I hurt my knee after the Monaghan one because it was too close together.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I was thinking, because that I could not run 2.5 marathons in a week of each other. Yeah.
remember, Brandon, I hurt my knee and I couldn't go back to the gym, and every time I even moved my leg, my knee would literally, the pain would shoot through. And it was like 4 or 5 weeks to the Dublin Marathon, and I was after training the whole fucking year.
I remember this now.
You remember?
Yeah.
But thick me said, I don't care, I'm going to do it. So I remember running around the roads of Dublin that day for the marathon, and my knee was killing me, and I got to the half marathon stage because it's all broke up, and I got to the half marathon stage and I could barely walk. I was like, no. And I went to the first aid guys and I said, just give me something, anything, like, and he said, if you continue to run, you might never run again.
Yeah.
And just for anybody who ever has a sore knee or a sore leg or anything, just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Pick your battles.
So pick your battles. So there and then I stopped. And I cried. And I remember like lying on the streets of Dublin crying like a lunatic. They actually had to put one of those silver yokes around me because I was dressed for running. I had a little, you know, the vest top and the shorts and everything.
Yeah,
and it was freezing. It was October and I was freezing and I was like crying, and I was just a basket case. They had to take me back to the start in one of those ambulance things and everything. It was a disaster. But I got the bus up that day with a crowd from Dundalk, got onto the bus on the way home, and a chap on the bus said to me, Gary actually was on the same bus.
Gary,
yeah, he was on the same bus. I think he didn't run it that day either. I think something happened to him the same day. Two disasters. Gary will confirm that. But I remember Sarah sitting, because Sarah had Prosecco or champagne or something, and she gave me a glass of it. I obviously needed it. But this chap on the bus said to me, just put it aside. Don't even worry about it. It's not worth worrying about. It's just one of those things. He said, run Derry. He said, Derry is the marathon for you. He said, Derry is class. Derry, the atmosphere, everything. He said, run Derry. And Derry was in June. So I didn't run again, got my knee fixed, got my knee better, went to physio, did everything I was supposed to do. And Christmas Day, myself and Paul ran 5K for Blessed Oliver's. Christmas morning, we ran from the graveyard up to Blessed Oliver's. We ran 5K, went into Blessed Oliver's. You go around all the wards singing to the old people. It's just such a special day, singing Christmas hymns to the old people. And that was it. That was me running back again. Really? And myself and Paul signed up for Derry. In 2017, we trained together and ran Derry. It was class.
And you finished it?
We finished it, and actually then we did Dublin in the October, and then we did Derry again the following year.
So 3 in the space of a year?
Yeah.
From not being able to run the length yourself and letting yourself go?
Yeah.
Good stuff. And how far away was the first run from the Derry to Derry?
Sorry, what do you mean, Brandon?
So from your first run with Benny until...
Oh, yeah. Was it just a couple of years, like literally 2 years, 3
Two,
years,
two.
just
That's
a couple of
deadly.
years. Yeah, no, literally a couple of years. There was no, I'd say just 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Cool. And would you bank that down as your biggest achievement? What is your biggest achievement?
Oh God, yeah, probably the marathons. Like I remember crossing the finish line, the first one in Derry, and we had the headphones on. I used to wear one ear, and Paul would wear one ear, so we could still talk to each other.
Oh yeah, I guess. I thought you meant the same set.
No. So we could still talk to each other and have the crack as we were going around. And I remember we were running, and at the toes, oh Jesus, the pain in the toes and everything. Oh my God, the feet were burnt off us. We were
Do you ever lose any toenails?
yeah, 3.
Yeah, that's just part of it, isn't it?
Oh, horrendous 3, absolutely horrendous. Well, I'll never forget crossing the finish line and the two of us running up. They have it all blue and all, and the crowds are cheering you on and everything. And we ran across the finish line together, and the tears, like happy tears,
Yeah.
just that adrenaline. I heard you talk about the adrenaline after a win. That feeling of I'm after running for 4 hours and I'm still alive and I feel great, and it was just amazing.
It's
and
like
to be running with your friend as well, like it's just class.
that is very cool. That's actually something I haven't experienced. I never actually finished. Well, I finished a half marathon, but I always kind of pace off my own. But I must get a good partner and finish the rest of them.
Yeah.
Me and Gary might do that for a marathon. Maybe he'll stay on my side and pace me a bit. Yeah, but I think it's something about, obviously when you're on a marathon, unless you're one of these Olympian boys, it gets to that stage where you're miserable.
Yeah.
And when you're miserable and then you cross the line, it just makes the high even higher,
Yeah, no, it's class. It is class. And having somebody beside you the whole way to cheer you on and have the crack with, and the slag, and there's Penny, the slag and the slagging and everything, it's great crack. And we had the same t-shirts. We got the same singlets, Fighting Fit singlets.
I did see them actually, yeah.
I ordered them for us, and we had our names on them. So as you're running around, people are shouting, "Annemarie, Paul!" And you're like, "How come do they know our names?"
That is class.
Yeah, it is good.
So, what advice would you say to somebody who maybe wants to run a marathon, but any kind of level?
I suppose just do it. Like, just get your training plan and stick to it. The training plan is worse than the actual day.
Okay.
Like we would have ran every single week, twice a week, every Wednesday and every Sunday. Like Paul would have been at my house at like 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. We mightn't be back till 12, 12:30. Like we would just be gone the whole morning running. And we had a route that we used to do, and we'd have water bottles planted throughout the route, and bananas and Mars bars planted throughout the route. You have to have your plan and just stick to your plan. The training is harder than the actual doing of it. The doing of it is the easy part. Okay. Just get a plan and stick to it, and find somebody to pace with, and get a partner to do it with, because it's brilliant. I think that definitely makes the day. Yeah, that's it. I'd say if you want to do it, just do it, and anybody can do it. Yeah, anybody can do it. Like when we were running around the roads, the people that you meet, all shapes, all sizes, all ages. There's no one size fits all. It is anybody can do it. Yeah, anybody.
And like I said, everybody kind of sees the medal, but I think it's important for people to kind of hear that halfway mark blow out. It's like, you can't run it every time. Sometimes it doesn't always go your way. That doesn't mean that you said, I'm not a marathon. I guess isn't for me. It's just not in me. It's we got to restart, do it again.
If you really want to do something, you just have to set your mind to it and just get it done.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because it is worth it. It is worth it. The feeling that you get, that sense of achievement afterwards, is just brilliant. It is brilliant. Yeah. It's worth it. And plus, you're a positive role model for the kids then as well. You're coming home with your medal, you're all hype and buzz, and you're like, and they just think you're deadly. They're like, wow, look at my mother. She's mad in the head, but she's deadly.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point. Yes, that kind of setting that example, being that example.
Yeah, you set the example of like you can do anything.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's so to say, kids don't do what you say, they do what you do.
Yeah, that's it.
So
that is true.
You can't want your kids to be fit and to be motivated and inspired when you're a couch potato. It's just not. You're going to raise a lot of couch potatoes.
Yeah.
And
You
like,
have to.
unless they have that kind of outside influence, you know, but it's always going to be better if you're that influence, and then instead of kind of lecturing at them, you're just giving them pages of your own experience.
Yeah.
You're saying, well, look, this is what worked for me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, if you like the results that I have and you kind of like the life that I'm living, obviously model after what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's it completely. Yeah, that is it completely.
So you have a family, Annemarie,
I do.
and you have a job.
I do.
How do you, and you, again, you're running marathons, all that kind of stuff. How do you find the balance between it all?
How do I find the balance between it all? I suppose I'm very lucky that I have great support around me. You know, like in fairness to Rory, he never once said, Annemarie, you can't go and run a marathon. You haven't time, you know, because he would be really busy as well. But he, like, I think he used to love when Paul used to call on a Sunday because he'd get rid of me for 3 hours and he could listen to his political news and everything. He'd be delighted. Is Paul not calling for you? I think the support around you is really, really important. And my sister, like, you know, Wendy used to be in the gym. Wendy would have been a brilliant support as well to be able to drop Turlock off to Wendy, you know, if Rory was busy. You need that support network around you when you have kids. And there's always somebody there. You just need to ask the right person. You know, there's always somebody there to help out.
Yeah, people love kids.
Yeah,
You know, I
just
find
planning and
people love
routine.
kids. People always take your kids.
They will always, somebody will always take them, you know. These people who say, oh, I have nobody to mind the child, that's just an excuse as far as I'm concerned. There's always somebody to mind the child. You know,
and again, you can't be afraid to ask for a little bit of help, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if so, and again, if something's a priority, I always think everybody loves money. I always kind of put it always back to the winning lotto ticket is on offer. If you find someone to mind your kids, you can't bring the kids, you know, you have to go down to Cork. It's the winning lotto ticket. You know, what would you do? You know, you'd find a way, you'd find a plan. It's like, you know, even if I have to take them with me, sit them in the car, give them a switch, whatever it is, you know, it's like where there really is a will. Exactly, yeah.
You'll find a way. Like even yourself and Chloe would have had Turlock for me the odd Sunday. You know, there's always somebody that you can ask, you know.
Yeah.
There is always somebody. You just need to find them, basically. But routine and planning, I think, is the most important thing. Like our routine every week was to run on a Wednesday and run on a Sunday. So you knew, right, I need somebody to mind the child Wednesday and Sunday.
Yeah.
That's just basically it.
Well, that's it, exactly. You need the plan, and that way it's not just dropping last minute on other people, because then other people can kind of factor in and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's like, it's better, right, you know, fair enough, nobody can mind your kids. Could somebody mind your kids with 4 weeks' notice?
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
probably.
Yeah. But even the gym, like, so with my work went crazy there for a while, where I was working in the evenings, a lot of evening, like literally 12-hour days, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays. And I was like, right, how am I going to get to the gym? I'm working 12 hours. So that's when I started the morning classes. And that's when I like literally get up at 6:15, go over. I'm lucky I only live 5 minutes away from the gym, that I can just get up, get ready, go over and get my gym done before work. Because otherwise I wasn't going to get it done. But that's again, you have to get yourself up out of bed and get over and do it.
Yeah, honestly, I like, because again, even me, like for me, like I really do believe I've got one of the toughest schedules to kind of have to work out for at times, because especially now having a little baby, you know, my work day is from, because, you know, you've got work. So if you want to get to the gym, I know that you've got work. So we have to be ready before you go to work. And not only that, we know that you have a family to get ready after the gym. So we have to start a very, very early day. And then I've got a family after work. My job, you know, it's got an awful lot of self-development, personal development. So we've obviously got to work out, and we have to do, or we're at least, what would you say, encouraged to do an hour study as well. So it's an hour after or an hour before our work shift as well. Now, our first class is at 5:30 in the morning. So if I want to do a workout before work, it means I have to be in here at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
absolutely.
And if you know, it's like, if you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do a workout and you have to do it, you'll do it. But it's like, if you give yourself that out, you know, it's like, it's very easy to just not do it. You know, it's very easy to kind of go, oh, well, sure, look, I just don't have time today. It's like 4:30 in the morning is an option. You know, if you really want it, that's also an option. But people kind of have it. It's not 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, 7 till 9. That's the window. It's not in that window. It's not happening. You know, 11 o'clock at night. That's also an option.
Yeah, I know it is. It's how much do you want it? Like it is, how much do you actually want it? You know, if you want to make excuses, you can make excuses. You know, it's up to you, you know. And what I love about you guys is that you live, you practice what you preach. You know, you live it. So you're not like the fat person, sorry, but you're not the fat person in Felda, you know, the fat gym instructor walking around telling people, you know, to run on the treadmill for 20 minutes. You actually do what we do.
Yeah.
You know, you practice what you preach. And that's what I love about you guys. Like when you tell me to lift a weight a certain way, it's because you do it that way. You know that that's the right way to do it. Like I'm not looking at you going, what would you know?
Yeah. But in saying that, it's like, you know, I really did feel that way, like you said, when you see me as a spring chicken, because I didn't live the life back then. You know, it's like generally, like as you guys grow, like it was, I actually say to people all the time, you know, you and Paul inspired me, Chris, and Stephen to run a half marathon, and not like even around that whole year back before we ever got the renovation. You know, when I started seeing you guys kind of, you know, make something kind of just seemed to click for you guys. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I have to raise my game just to coach these people.
Yeah.
You know, because like if you like you guys were nearly surpassing me as a coach, as clients, which was so motivating. You know, it's because it was like, geez, like, you know, it's like these guys are really taking what I'm saying to the nth degree. And I had to work on myself, you know, in terms of motivation and discipline and nutrition and exercise, just to get to the place where I could even understand where you guys were at. You know, it's like, and that was, like I said, to kind of have a client motivated coach, you know, that's amazing. That's one of the things, that's one of the reasons why I love this place, because, you know, you get all types of people coming in and everybody's got their own kind of, their own stories and their own strengths, and, you know, really can outshine lots of different people in lots of different ways. You know, it's like, for talk's sake, I know you were a little bit nervous about following Kira. You know, it's like, but if Kira was to have to try and do what you did and run, you know, a marathon, a triathlon, and then, you know, hearing that you're saying, oh, the triathlon was too easy, you know, I'm sure she'd get pretty nervous. You know, and to kind of have everybody with their own strengths in this little small community, it's amazing, very inspiring.
Yeah. And that is so true. Like you see the girls coming in, the lads coming in, and everybody has their own strengths and everybody supports each other's strengths, which I love, you know. And the door is always open to people who have left and come back. And when you see them back, you're like, oh, you're back, you know, like Andrew came back and it's like, oh, Andrew, you know, you were missed, you know, and the door is always open to welcome people back. It doesn't matter, you know, who you are, where you are. It's just, that's one of the things that I love as well.
Everybody goes through seasons. You know, everybody's kind of exactly, including myself. You know, it's like I've literally, even as a coach, I've had periods in my life where my training was just not that great, and I have other periods where it was fantastic, and I have other periods where I was injured. Like I was injured. I'm working here now 5 years. I would say I was injured for a solid 2 years of my 5-year experience. You know, it's like it's you're always going to be on top form.
Yeah, you're not always going to be on top form, and it's about forgiving yourself and, you know, and just saying, right, that's done, it's over now, let's move on to the next thing, you know, because it would be so easy to become that couch person again, and like nobody's happy being a couch person, you know. That's when depression can sit in. You can get too comfy, you know, watching the soaps and bloody Netflix and, you know, and just drinking the wine, and, you know, we're all at that age now where we love a glass of wine, and it's just too easy to lie on the couch and do that. So you just have to forgive yourself for days that you do that, and then just move on to the next day.
Yeah, I mean, like here, because here's the part, here's where I am in my mindset now with this kind of stuff. It's like, I literally will never be okay with being that person, like never. No. But although it's 100% to fit that in your week.
Yeah.
But I won't do it for 7 days. I will literally never, ever, ever do that for 7 days out of the week. But it is a case, like, I think you need it. And I think, like, the reason that you should train is to fit that in.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever your vice is.
My son says that Aaron says that to me all the time. She just trains so she can eat and drink whatever she wants and still be skinny. And it's true.
I don't understand any other reason to train. You know, it's like, because the problem is, Jim Rohn says, the weeds grow. You know, it's like it takes an active effort to have a garden that looks well. But, you know, if you just want to let it all go, you can let it all go. You know, and here's the unfortunate part. And the thing about it is you wear that. That's the thing. Like, it would be really nice if you could sit at home and drink wine and put the feet up on Netflix and you and nobody know. But the thing about it is, you know, your skin will tell people the story. You know, your waistline will tell people the story. And people judge, you know, and people don't like to be judged unfavorably, you know, which, like I said, it's like, look, I will do my best not to judge. I do my best to understand. And I get it. I fall in hard times. I'm far from perfect. I'm certainly far from the finished product. There's many people, many times better than me at many different things. But at the same time, are you doing all you can do to better yourself? Because if the answer to that is no, you know, people in general don't seem to like that.
No, but I think it is, Brandon, are you happy? You know, are you actually happy? You know, if you're happy lying on the couch watching Netflix 7 days a week, go for it, you know, but are you actually happy?
Great point. Completely agree, actually, because that's 100%. Because I do see all this kind of stuff on social media about these overweight people and are kind of like, you know, self-love, you know, I'm happy doing me, be me, all that kind of stuff. And which is like generally 100%. Like, if you like, this is your life. Live it whatever way you want. If you want to eat KFC and McDonald's and Krispy Kreme donuts and sit on the couch and watch the greatest shows on Netflix, it's like, that is, you know, it's like, I can understand the appeal. Yeah. I definitely can. So, but if the results of that are not something that's, you know, putting a smile on your face at the end of the day, because like I said, there's a cost to that. And, you know, because there's no such thing as a free dinner. It's going to cost you something. No. And if you're okay with the cost, 100%. But kind of that's kind of what we set up is we're kind of, my job really is damage control.
It is damage control. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But if you're happy, like, one thing I always say, my friends think I'm mad when I say I'm running a marathon or I'm doing a quest or I'm doing a hell and back. They all think I'm mad, right? And I'm like, no, but if I die, I'll die happy. And that is the truth. Like, if I died running a marathon or on the mountains of Kenmare, you know, God forbid, if the bike fell over and I got killed by a car, God forbid. But just know that I died happy, and that is the truth. I am at my happiest when I'm doing that, you know? Yeah.
And that's the other side of it as well, is, you know, it's like sitting on the couch and eating the Krispy Kremes and drinking the wine. That's one high. Then you have your marathon high.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame to not experience that, because, like, I mean, like, although the Krispy Kremes are fantastic, although the Chinese is amazing, it's like there's other things to experience as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the fact that Jenny and Stephen were away doing their yoga, you know, training, and Chris then and Aisling went, I'm going to do that. I'm envious of that. I'm so envious. I don't want to be a coach. I just want to do it. I just want to go away for 4 weeks and do yoga. It just sounds amazing, you know. So definitely that's on my bucket list to do that.
Well, so you can't fall off the bike until you get to Thailand.
No, I can't. But I won't cycle to the island. But definitely that's.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason you couldn't do that. You're the kind of person who says that, you know, in, you know, 10 years time, 15 years time, you're going to get in the car and just be a little nomad. Is that still the plan?
That's me. That is still the plan. I'm going to get my little camper van and travel around. That is the plan.
That's so cool. That sounds amazing.
There's a hippie chick inside here somewhere.
Somewhere. She's out there running the roads.
She's out running the roads. No, that is the plan, absolutely.
So, what do you do for a living, Annemarie?
So I work for a crowd called the Genesis program. I am a facilitator. I facilitate parent programs to parents who have children with behaviours consistent with ADHD, but not just parents who have children with ADHD. Any parent can do a parent program, and every parent should do a parent program. I deliver the Incredible Years parent program. So all different strategies that we help parents with their kids. I'm not the perfect parent. I would never claim to be, but I am a good facilitator and I know how to do it. And I help parents be better parents, basically.
And do you practice what you preach?
Yes, completely.
Good. Yeah.
No, I completely do. Like, I know you know Turlock. Not everybody knows Turlock. Turlock is 11 and he's autistic and ADHD, so he has a dual diagnosis. So I have practiced what I've preached from day one. Luckily, I did the program with Connor as a parent when he was only 5 because he was mental. He was the Duracell bunny. He had loads of energy, didn't know what to do with him. I was constantly fighting with him. Like if we were at loggerheads, I'd tell him one thing, he'd tell me no. You know, so I did the program as a parent for him, and that was me hooked. I was like, right. From that day, he's 16 now, and I have been practicing what I've preached 11 years with boys. Yeah, and I think it works. You know, they're good boys. I think it works.
Well, what is it like if you kind of had to sum it up, or give some golden rules?
It's positive parenting, Brandon. It's positive parenting. You know, it's positive discipline, positive parenting. You know, it's just you can still tell them no, but there's a certain way that you do it. And it's respectful as well. So I'm not the boss of them in any way. We're all equal in the house. You know, we all, live here. We're family, we're a unit. It's positive parenting strategies. That's exactly what it is. You know, if you
take democracy into the household kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and it's being respectful. Like a lot of us were brought up with being told what to do and when to do it and how to do it. But this is a different approach where we're all equal, and yeah, there's respect for each other,
Okay. And do you like your job?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, love my job. Yeah.
And how does your hours kind of suit for kind of, again, fitting it all in?
Again, it's just planning, isn't it? It's planning and routine, and just like I know from one week to the other what my job is going to entail, so I just have to plan around that,
Yeah.
And prep the dinners and prep the lunches and make sure the shopping's in, just the usual stuff. Make sure the uniforms are done when school's on. Make sure my clothes are ready. It's just all prepping.
Yeah, plan.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we help parents do, to learn how to plan and how to prep and be ready.
That's what I do for a living as well. I think that's something, it takes a little bit of humility to kind of admit, look, I don't have it all together. I could probably do with a better plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it is just about writing down what works and what doesn't work and fix. So we do a benefits and barriers thing. What are the benefits to having a plan, and what prevents you from having a plan? And you'll see all the barriers are your own, and it's just a matter of getting rid of them. And the benefits outweigh the barriers every time. Yeah.
I feel like everybody's kind of got these, rough ideas and rough kind of outcomes and all this kind of stuff that they quote unquote know. I know this and I know that, and it's not until you kind of lay it out in a structure on a piece of paper that it really starts to become abundantly clear, and that's when you can really start, making the magic happen. Like, for talk's sake, very simply, a budget. Why? Where did all the money go this week? It's like, what actually happened? And then you get it out and you go, oh, I know exactly what happened. It's like, wait, I didn't spend that much. Or did I spend that much? Maybe I did. Maybe it was you. It wasn't me. It was you. It wasn't you.
It was Chloe, was it?
Yes, Chloe.
But we have this thing that I came across years ago called the data effect, doing all that already. And I hear parents say that all the time when I say to them, try this. And they go, oh, I do that already. And,
oh, that's great. I like that. Yeah, I've heard that.
No, you don't. If you did do that, you wouldn't be sitting here,
Yeah.
So the data effect, don't fall into that trap. I'm doing all that already.
What is it again? Doing all that already. Data.
Yeah, data.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Let me see. Cool, Annemarie, what advice do you have to anybody who maybe is, struggling with fitness, struggling with health, struggling to find balance, struggling for motivation, maybe they're depressed, they're just not in a place right now where they feel like they're getting the results that they want in any area or just maybe in one area?
I suppose for me it is ring you.
Ring
Ring
me.
Brandon. No, just talk to one of the lads. Like if you're talking about gym members, like
not,
people
yeah?
who are already there or people who aren't there, definitely to ring one of you guys and have the crack with yous and set the goal, a small goal, just a little one, and just take it one day at a time. Like, don't plan too far ahead. I think when you project things into the future as well, it can be too far away. Just
Yeah.
one day at a time, you know, just small little goals that are achievable, you know. Like the 6 week challenge was brilliant because it's only 6 weeks,
Yeah.
you know. Anybody can do that. It's 6 weeks. The 3 week, 21 days was brilliant. So small, little achievable goals, baby steps, and they'll lead to the bigger goals.
Yeah, well, right now we're after implementing the system. So basically, what we're trying to do to any FINTIP members, listener, or anybody thinking about joining, essentially, like we've just met in the middle there. So the 21-day challenge, 3 weeks, and then the 6 week challenge. We basically now want to get in touch with everybody every 4 weeks. So, like I said, just book 4 week goals. You know, and that way, even if it all goes to shite in the 4 weeks, that means that it's short enough time that it's, like I said, it's not, you're not going to let it all go. It's not all going to go in 4 weeks, but in 4 weeks' time, you can kind of see, okay, well, you know, what went well, what didn't go well. It's simple stuff. My job is so repetitive at times because it's just basic. You know, it's so simple. It's did you do this? And, you know, the health and fitness industry is kind of plagued with kind of gimmicks. And I suppose most places that kind of want results, you know, the business world, I'm sure, is the same. It's just the parent world, I'm sure, is the same. Oh, what's the next big thing? What are we supposed to do? You know? It's simple stuff.
It's keep it simple completely. Forget about the gimmicks, forget about all of that. You don't need any of that. It's your mindset. If you have a positive mindset and if you're truly happy in yourself, like truly happy, and you're not lying to yourself going, I'm kind of half happy, you know, you need to be truly happy in your decision and go for it. And you know what, if you make the wrong decision, that's okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't just forgive yourself and move on, you know. We're all human at the
people
end
can
of
be
the day.
very, very hard on themselves. They really can.
They really can. And you know, as long as you haven't done anything wrong to anybody and you haven't hurt anybody in the process, just forgive yourself and move on. That's it.
And even if you have, you know, it's like, you know, even if you have, but
as long as you haven't killed anyone.
Well, this is it. And again, even if you have, you know, it's like you can't wallow on something your entire bloody life. You know, it's like, and you should like, again, you know, if you've killed someone, you should maybe make an abundant effort to right the wrongs.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's like that's kind of what it's all about. You have to say your apologies, you have to right the wrongs, and then you have to get on with it. You know, because everybody's kind of got something to give. And I think what you said is very, very important, kind of about setting small goals, because like I if you just think of the physiology behind it as well, it's like setting a goal literally just, it kind of lifts your head up enough into the future. Like I said, if you look at a skyscraper, literally tilt your head up, you can get dizzy. Yeah. But it's just about lifting your head off your feet, not sulking, not feeling sorry for yourself, and just saying, right here, look, literally, even if it's off the floor and onto 2 feet in front, you know, and maybe that looks like a pound of fat loss. Maybe it looks like, you know, going to meet a friend. Maybe it looks like asking for some help, asking for a childminder. Maybe it looks like just doing a yoga class. Maybe it looks like eating a bloody strawberry for the first time in 6 years.
Absolutely, yeah. Just whatever it is, small, little, tiny goals, and just set them that way. And then the other thing is get a training buddy. Like, there's nothing like having somebody beside you to coach you on, and somebody who's slightly better than you. Slightly better than you. Not like, I could never run with Rory because he was too fast and he'd be away because he's so competitive. So I wouldn't even entertain. I ran around DKIT with him one day and he cursed me and roared at me, and I said, that's the end of that. Never running with that fella again. So, but it's lovely to have somebody who's just slightly better than you to just motivate you and just keep you there. So do find there's, you know, somebody there for everybody to train with. And do find that person, because it's really it's lovely when you see them and you can run together and train together. And you know, the gym's great for that. There's so many people who would love to be, you know, paired off, and I think the whole boxing and all of that brings people together as well, you know, when you're doing this,
the shoulders, knees and stuff,
that, you know, and you can have a bit of crack with them and everything.
No, it's really nice, like I said, just to kind of have, it's somebody who's stretchy but doesn't outshine you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want them to outshine you, because then they'll make you feel bad about yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, I remember boxing growing up. I suppose it's a little bit of a hard truth, and it's like I said, it's maybe not a long-term solution, but you know, it's nice every once in a while to be humbled. You know, because like I remember I used to get the absolute crap kicked to me, like, but you know, it was a double-sided sword because it would destroy my self-esteem because I wasn't tough enough to take it at the time. You know, to the point where I quit boxing numerous times where it literally would finish you. But then at the other side of it, you know, I remember those times that I was on fire in sparring and somebody else would come in and just knock me for 6, and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know it all.
Yeah. No, but you need the winner effect, Brandon. You need that winner effect. And if you're training with somebody who's constantly better than you, they are going to, you know, squish your sort of, and you're like, I'm never going to be as good as them. I'm never going to be like them, because people have different, you know, mindsets, you know, and different abilities. We're not all the same.
There was a study done with rats, and basically what they did was, if they basically took these 2 rats and they got these rats to engage in rough and tumble play, so basically kind of like wrestling, and I think it was, if I don't know the exact numbers, but basically they'd put a smaller rat with another rat who's about 30% bigger than the other rat, and basically that's enough to basically gauge that the bigger rat would always win.
Yeah. And
if the bigger rat didn't let the little mouse win at least like 30% of the time, the smaller mouse would just stop playing with him because he's basically, well, look, I'm not doing this again.
There's no point hanging around with you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, so you can't have somebody just pinning you the whole time. I used to run into that issue with Chris growing up on the PlayStation, because what used to happen was Chris has got this great mind, and I have this other great mind. The two they've both got their strengths, but they're so different. So what would happen is me and Chris would get a game like Tekken or something like that, and I'd basically just button mash and figure out a combo that worked, and I'd kick the crap out of him. But it wouldn't take too much learning to do it. It would kind of be just kind of on the fly, kind of basic fighting. And Chris, then after that, I'd probably end up beating him 30% more than he beat me. And then Chris would just sit with that game for about 6 hours, and he would learn these 10-hit combos to the point there where the next time we played, he would just absolutely annihilate me 100%. Maybe I might win 1 out of 10 times. And I was like, yeah, you spoiled the game for me. I can't play anymore.
I'm not able to anymore.
But, you know, in his defense, you know, I probably should have learned the 10-hit combos back, but I wasn't that invested. You weren't that
invested, no. Yeah, but you have to complement each other. I think that's the thing. You have to complement each other. Like something for myself and Paul, he will always start off fast if we're racing, like if we're actually doing a race. He'll be away, start off fast, and I'll go, slow down you. You go, yeah, I'll see you, I'll catch you. And then lo and behold, I just see him in the distance, and there he is, I catch him, like, told you.
That's
you know, and then we finish, like, yeah. So you have to complement each other, I think, and you're not competing against each other. You're there to support each other, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree. So, Annemarie, what's next on the list?
We're going to do another quest when restrictions are lifted. I hope that's the plan anyway. Hopefully we get another quest in when restrictions are lifted. We had signed up for Hell and Back, but I'm definitely not going to do an October Hell and Back. I don't think it's going to happen anyway. I can't see it happening.
I hope not. I don't really like them in the cold now, to be fair.
2 months, no.
Yeah, they're much better crack in the summer.
They are far better crack in the summer, so hopefully that will not happen in October. But yeah, look, that's just it. Just keep tipping away, and hopefully these restrictions will lift soon, and we'll be able to do what we have to do. Yeah. But for now, it's just getting out on the bike and running and training. I'm so happy, so happy the gym's back open.
I know, it's
so
class.
Happy. It is class. It's just deadly. I'm so happy.
Makes a world of a difference. Like I said, I know it's a weird old time, just kind of lockdown and all that kind of stuff now. It really is. It wore on me the other day for the first time. So how long are we in lockdown now? Is it 4 months, 3 months, 5 months?
13, 14 weeks. I don't know, Brandon. Everything's just blending into one. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. It's since March. We we did Quest the week that lockdown happened, like literally the week before. We were driving home and on the news they were saying how many cases there were, and it was just like, oh shit, let's get home quick.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it was just yeah, so it was the week before, so it was March.
Yeah, so I basically got one holiday cancelled. We were meant to go to Rome, and then I think we were meant to go to, yeah, Chloe booked it for I think it was for our anniversary or for Christmas. She booked it there for around Valentine's Day, and that was cancelled, or maybe it was after. I'm not sure when it was. We were meant to go to Rome, and then we were meant to go to Spain then as well with Steve and Jen. That was cancelled, and I took all that fine. And then I was planning with Chloe. I was like, oh, Nando's is opening back up. So we go to Nando's, and she was like, oh no, sure, I don't think you'll even be able to sit in. You'll have to take it away. And I was like, that was it. That was the last straw for me.
So you'll have to do a Nando's night at home. You can buy the Nando sauce in Dunn's and just make your own Nando's and do a special.
Yesterday
yeah, it's class.
But no, I bought these little bags. So these little bags, you put a chicken breast in. It's got all the seasoning.
And you shake it.
And you shake it and you bake it. So I'll let you know how that goes.
So a funny story about Nando's. I had never been to Nando's before, and the day of the Derry Marathon, there's a Nando's in Derry. And myself and Paul said, should we go to Nando's? Because we'd heard all these amazing things. It was rotten.
What?
It was rotten.
I was just shocked. What did you get?
Some kind of chicken burger. I haven't got a clue. It was rotten. And we had all the, you know, we were after running our first marathon. We were going to have some nice food and have some wine and beer and everything.
You like chicken?
It was rotten.
You like chicken?
Yeah.
You like spice?
It was rotten.
Right. That's the end of the podcast. Shut down. End of here. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I understand. Yeah, no. Here, look, everybody's got their own taste, I suppose.
Yeah, no, but the Nando sauce are nice. I have got them from Dunn's. They are nice.
Yeah. I got
Next time you come for dinner, I'll make you a Nando's burger.
I know. This just all ends. I know. I just want to go back to normal. I want to go back to Annemarie's for dinner.
No, we can do it in the garden. Be grand.
I think you're allowed small groups of 6 now, aren't you?
Yeah, are. And I have the garden all set up at the gazebo ready, chicken.
Text Chloe, let's make it happen sooner rather than later.
Chicken for the chicken.
Chicken for the chicken. Good stuff. Well, Annemarie, I suppose we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us on the podcast again. I really, really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you sharing your testimony. I'm sure there's somebody listening who, again, you know, they took something from it. You know, if it's just, you know, planning, if it's understanding that, you know, you can break through your limits, if it's understanding if it's a priority, we can make it happen. It's about wanting it, and you know, everybody's going to have your obstacles. Everybody's kind of going to have something it could look like the end, unless you're really willing to kind of create a workaround and move forward.
Absolutely, yeah. And like, age is literally just a number, Brandon. It is.
Yeah, Annemarie, honestly, I literally can't believe you're 48, because I generally thought you're 39.
Thanks.
And again, I'm literally not just saying that. Like, honestly, like, you are honestly incredible. You're a bloody super ager. And again, like, the most, not surprising thing, but the most impressive thing for me is generally, I believe your best years are ahead of you yet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, that is the truth. Like, I have so many things that I want to do, and like plans that I want to, definitely. And, you know, I'm not going to let age stop me from doing those things. If anything, age is going to complement those things, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And especially now with a kind of weight training and all that kind of stuff, they say, you know, one of the biggest things as you reach into older age anyways, you start losing bone density, and that doesn't really need to be a problem so much anymore because of weight training. You know, it's honestly one of the benefits of the kind of training you do here. So you're a credit to yourself, you're a credit to your kids, you're a credit to your job, you're a credit to your family. Thank you so much again. Most of all, your credit to Fighting Fit. We really appreciate kind of all the ambassador work that you've done through us throughout the years. You know, you've brought in, I don't know how many members have come in and said, "Oh, Annemarie told me about the place." Like I said, we appreciate your support. Since day one, you've kind of been with us, and you know, doesn't matter what we did or what we tried to do, and how little I knew about coaching, you always kind of supported us. And, you know, I really, really appreciate that.
Just before I go, just to say thank you to Stephen, because I have thanked him, I'm sure I have, but in front of everybody, this is for everybody to listen. Like, thank you to Stephen, because without him, there would be no Fighting Fit. He's just the top dog. He is the main man.
Sorry, go on ahead.
it was him obviously that approached me. I was at a white collar as well as Ciara. I was at a white collar that Rory was fighting in the Carrickdale way back in the day, and it was for Clan Nefa. And Stephen just came over like that to me and said, "Oh, I'm doing this women's boot camp. Do you want to have a week? You know, want to come in and see what it's like?" And I was like, "Oh, gee, why is he asking me?" But it was him and his, I suppose, the neck on him that he has just to go over to a stranger and ask them something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's, you know, he is the top.
Honestly, like, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Stephen. You know, I was
none of us would, Brandon.
Yeah, I was filling out a form, and it was I think it was actually, again, something Stephen put me on to, just kind of again self-development. I was, you know, it's like most inspirational people or people that have affected your life in the most positive way, and Stephen's the top of my list. You know, I've listened to lots of people, I've had lots of coaches throughout the years, but Stephen is the man behind the scenes. Stephen's like, again, the reason I'm doing this podcast with you is because Stephen's was a man who decided, let's set up a podcast, let's make the YouTube channel happen, let's go online, you know, there's many places just would have shut down. He's so resourceful. He honestly, he's a genius. He honestly is. He's so smart. He's the man behind anything. You know, multiple white collars, thousands and thousands of euros raised for charity, thousands and thousands of pounds of fat loss, thousands and thousands of miles ran from inspiring people to kind of go out and run the miles. Again, and has invested so much in myself and Niall and Chris and Jenny and Sam and Peter. You know, he really just. And again, this is a small business. This is a family-run business. Like, he's put food on my table, has supported my kids. You know, it really means an awful lot to me and everybody else for all the work that he does. So I appreciate you thanking him, and I'd like to again extend a thank you, because I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, no, only for him. Like, he is definitely, he's a bit, and you know, it's his resilience. It's he has built-in resilience that he can overcome any challenge, and has this great mind that he can think outside the box and, oh, let's try it this way and it will work, you know, and let's make it happen, you know, and he does it all with a smile on his face as well. And you know, and it's him, like, at the end of the day, like, you guys wouldn't be where you are without him, and neither would we. You know, so.
I agree. He was I was talking to him about if any of these guys seen, we knocked down the walls for the what was the old upstairs PT studio. It was initially a Pilates studio, and then he said, "Oh no, I don't like that." So he just said, "All right, we'll get a load of weights and all that kind of stuff and set up as that." And then he's actually, you know what it is? I don't like that either. Just knock all the walls down and build on through. You know, just kind of has this mindset. And I said, it's like I would have never even kind of thought to knock the walls down. You know, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well, just because you've dug yourself a hole doesn't mean you have to dig any deeper." No,
you can just dig out.
Yeah. Well, climb up. I think I agree. I think it's down to this mindset and thinking out the box. It's fantastic. Cool. Annemarie, thank you so much.
After spending an hour on here with you and totally neglected my whole family.
That's 100% here, Charlotte. The Fighting Fit family. You know, you have to pay your dues.
You have to pay your dues. And come here, I'll see you later. Thank you for having me. It was great. As always.
Would you like anybody to follow you on social media or Facebook or anything like that? No, you're okay. Another one too shy for social media. Well, guys, if you want to follow us on the YouTube channel, it's the Fighting Fit, just Fighting Fit on YouTube. The main Instagram page for the main man Stephen is fighting_fit. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's FF Movement Coach. And apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for listening. Peace.